Photoshop is now in ChatGPT, allowing you to make adjustments and apply effects to your images using natural language commands, and make adjustments to those edits via the Properties panel. This even works with the free version of ChatGPT, and you can continue editing your image in Photoshop on the web. My name is Jesus Ramirez. Let me show you how it works. First, go to chatgpt.com. Then, to activate Photoshop, go into your account by clicking on your name on the bottom left. Then, from Settings, click on the Apps and Connectors tab. From here, you will see the 3 new apps from Adobe inside of ChatGPT, which includes Photoshop. Click on the Adobe Photoshop app, then click on Connect. You'll have to click on Connect one more time to accept the terms and conditions, and as you can see, Photoshop is now connected to ChatGPT. You can now click on the X on the top left to close the settings. Next, click on the plus icon, then go into More, and click on Adobe Photoshop. The Photoshop icon will now appear below the prompt box. Next, bring in a photo by clicking on the plus icon and choosing Add Photos and Files. From here, select any photo that you want. I'll choose this image, and it now appears in the prompt box as my reference image. From here, you can ask ChatGPT to edit the image. Remember, ChatGPT will not do any type of generator fill replacements, but it can create adjustments. What type of adjustments? You can think of it as adjustments created by an adjustment layer or certain filters. Let me show you what I mean by that. I'll use the prompt, make the background black and white. Then click on the black up button to commit the changes, and in a few moments, ChatGPT will make the background black and white. Notice that my original image shows on the top right with the prompt that I used. The edited image will show at the bottom. When it's done, you can scroll down to get a better look. The first thing you'll notice is that we have several options. To the left, you'll see a download button where you can download this image. But even better, on the top right, you have the Properties panel icon. That allows you to expand the image and look at the controls that were used to create this adjustment. By dragging the gray, black and white intensity slider to the left, you reduce the intensity of the black and white adjustment. So you have total control over the edits ChatGPT applied. And something very important to note is that ChatGPT is not actually generating a new image, it's applying a layer mask and the adjustment using these controls. You'll see the mask and the effect controls when we take this image into Photoshop a little later on in this video. Just to let you know, you can do so by clicking on the blue Open in Photoshop button. I'll go back into the prompt box and I'll simply type, make her glasses blue. Then I'll press Enter or Return to apply the changes. In ChatGPT, we'll edit the black and white background version of our image, not the original. Notice that instead of making her glasses blue, ChatGPT created a hue and saturation adjustment that targets the glasses. So now with the hue slider, I can select the blue that I want for her glasses and use the saturation to increase or decrease the intensity. And of course, lightness controls how bright or dark that blue is. And at this point, you can continue adjusting the sliders to get the result that you want. Next, we're going to stack one more effect. I'll simply type in the prompt, add a creative effect, and apply the changes. Then ChatGPT will think of what effect to apply to this image, and notice that it will apply the bloom effect. Also, ChatGPT is telling us other effects that it could apply, like the glitch effect, grain, or bokeh. You can just tell it what you want. But to show you what the bloom effect does, I'll increase the strength and you'll see the glow above her head. It just makes the brighter areas glow. Next, I'll add one more effect. From the prompt box, I'll type add a halftone effect and I'll generate. Now that the halftone color effect is applied, you can use the Properties panel on the right to make adjustments. The slider on the top controls the size of the halftone effect. The middle slider controls the definition. And the bottom slider controls the angle. Of course, adjust these accordingly to get the result that you want. Next, we'll apply one more effect. In the prompt box, I'll type apply a duotone effect. Apply the changes, and in a few moments, we'll apply a duotone effect on top of the halftone effect. And just like with any other effect, you can use the Properties panel on the right to adjust how it looks. You also have these color swatches that allow you to change the color of the duotone. For example, we'll make the shadows green, and we'll make the highlights red. Then you can continue making adjustments to try to make these colors work. And quite frankly, this effect looks terrible. So let me show you how to remove it. All you need to do is go to the prompt box and type remove the duotone effect. And in just a few moments, ChatGPT will remove this effect. I also don't like the halftone effect, so I'll type to remove this effect from the prompt box and apply the changes. Now our image is back to when we applied the bloom effect, and let me show you something that's not going to work. From the prompt box, I'm going to type, replace the skateboard with a 1980s style boombox, and I'll generate. And ChatGPT will tell us that this version of Photoshop does not do any generator fill type of replacements. So we can only make adjustments to the images, sort of like adjustment layers and effects. A little later on, I will show you how to get a list of all the effects that you can apply. But one way to think about it is, if there's an adjustment layer for it, you can probably apply that effect in ChatGPT. For example, you can use the prompt, add more vibrance to the image, which will of course create a vibrance adjustment. And you can use the slider to increase the saturation of the lowly saturated pixels in this image. Now, if you need to apply adjustments that ChatGPT cannot perform, you can always open this image in Photoshop on the web. Simply click on Open in Photoshop. ChatGPT will create a link. When it's done, click on Ready to Open. This will open up a new tab in your browser and it will take you to Photoshop on the web. Even if you don't have a Creative Cloud account, images edited with ChatGPT will be available to edit on Photoshop on the web with all the tools. The only limitation is that you will not have access to the premium features, which include Gemini 3 Nano Banana. The first thing I want you to notice is that from the Layers panel, you will see the 3 adjustments we applied. They are shown as individual adjustment layers with layer masks that target the specific areas that we adjusted. You can now continue adjusting this image using any of the tools in Photoshop on the web. Next, let's go back into ChatGPT and I'll show you how to get a list of all the adjustments you can apply. From the prompt box, simply type, give me a comprehensive list of all the adjustments you can apply with the Photoshop app. Then I'll press enter, and in a few moments, ChatGPT will give me a list of all the adjustments you can apply. Click on this box to expand it, and you'll see the 9 adjustments you can currently apply. More will be added in the coming months. So make sure that when you watch this video, you run this prompt, there might be some additional than the ones you see on screen. You can also tell ChatGPT to give you a full list of the effects that it can apply. I'll simply use the prompt, yes, give me a full list of the effects. And same thing, you can click on this box to expand it and you'll see the 18 different effects that are available. So what do you think? Is Photoshop and ChatGPT a good idea or not? Let me know in the comments what you think. And if you haven't already, check out my Photoshop AI Mastery course and my Selections and Masking Mastery course. The link is below in the description. Thank you so much for watching.